My name is Aiden Bekendam, and
I am Jacob Bekendam.
Okay.
And we are from this general California, Anaheim area, and this is our mock on Pointe du Hoc, which was a family effort that we worked on for about a year, and we went there, and we've always had a fascination with D-Day, so it was fun to go and build it. So there is a big infrastructure inside made out of multicolored bricks, and we called it a BUB, which is an acronym.
Big ugly building.
So that's BUB for Big Ugly Building?
Yes.
Okay.
And then there's the cliff, and then the famous point, and then the little rock extending outwards. And then we have 3 of the bunkers, the observation bunker and 2 of the gun bunkers, and we added in the guns for dramatic effect, even though they weren't really there. They had either fake guns or nothing. So the observation bunker is, well, you can't open up the top, but there's a little door in the back with some minifigs running out to fight the Americans. And then we don't actually, in real life, they climbed up the west side of the cliff, but we did the east just because it's easier.
Yeah.
And we have a rope and a ladder, which was the 2 ways they got up. And would you like to talk a little bit about the cliff, Jake, since you were on that?
This cliff is sideways building, but the other side is just bricks on top. And we started with this first base plate, and then we did that base plate, and then that base plate, because they're on the big 4 base plates, and there's 1 base plate in the middle.
Okay, so you kind of have in sections then, like 4 major base plate kind of sections. And do you break it down like that to move it as well?
No, that would have been a good idea, but
Yeah.
Looking back, you probably should have.
yes. We were thinking about doing it, but then we just building the cliff ended up not doing it.
Okay.
And then we can talk about the minifigures
Yeah.
if you want. So this is, here, I can pick them up. This is a Ranger minifigure with an M1 pot helmet, sand green torso, shirt, and a rifle. Now, the printing on here is I designed it in Photoshop.
Wow.
And it's a little, it's actually an address label, and then we use a little bit of like the stuff you use on decals, and we put it on.
There you go. That's awesome.
Affordable and cheap, and
Yeah.
it offers like perfect result if you're wanting to go extremely historically accurate. And then we have our German 352nd Division Infantry, which have here, I can pick them up, which have got dark bluish gray, and then a Stalinheim, and then this one's got a Luger and a potato masher grenade, which was its nickname, and it has a belt, buttons, and then this intricate collar that I had some help designing. And then there's the little eagle and the 2 pockets, and then on the back it's just his belt.
So you added some really cool little details on the uniforms there.
Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah. And then
How did the landscaping work for you guys? I like how you got the different plants and all the different greens.
Made it all flat, and then we took it out, and then we put more outlining, and then we made it more trainy, and we made it flat just so we know what it would look like.
the little pictures in there, you could see what it used to be. Oh, I'm knocking that over. If you go to if it's the picture on the left, far left corner, you can see how it kind of used to be flat. And then we added in like black and gray to hold it up, and then we just kind of did it as we went. And then there's the trench, which we designed around, and then the various places where bombs and shells hit, so the craters.
Right, okay.
And then
What was the Rockwork like on the outside here? How did that work? What kind of pieces did you use?
we used lots of the big pieces of the two types, since we have excess of those and they're easy to come upon.
Right.
Because they come in lots of city sets. And then for this one, it's actually just a bunch of sideways building that we used, and then a little bit of upside building for this one. And then for the other side, it's just various layers of bricks that stacked on top that go in conjuncture with our big ugly building.
Okay.
And then we built a hill in there, so these two are kind of like built in for protection.
Yeah, I really like that. And you've even got some photos here from the real locations. Is that the real location there?
Yeah, that's the real location. That's an overhead view, what it looks like today. Some rangers fighting on the beach, on a painting, an artist rendering. What the gun bunker that we built there looks like today. So that's what it really. And then some rangers climbing up the cliff, and then the pictures on the other side, those are us on location. So that's one of the gun bunkers, and that's us inside a bunker.
There you go. Yeah, on top of the bunker. I love it. That's really neat that you guys were able to actually go to this location and see it.
2 times.
Okay. 2 times.
There's this little thing about, and more in detail than what the mock card shows of what it is. And then
Okay.
we got the medic. We got 1 medic on the mock.
Nope, 2.
Oh, 2 medics. There's a German medic back there. And
Was the bunker design hard for you guys? Like getting the gun to fit in there and everything? How did that work?
it wasn't that hard.
Designed it more around the gun, and I designed the gun personally myself, and I had to copy it. So it's exact same pieces.
So what we did was we designed a bunker and then we copied it piece by piece.
Yeah, that makes sense. So then you can just kind of replicate it for the second one.
Yeah. That way there's 2 guns ready to fire upon Omaha.
Yeah, well, this is very neat. I appreciate both of you talking me through it and telling us about the build here. I think it turned out really nice. Thank you.
Thank you.